Alright, let's go keep going with our video lectures on chapter 6, looking at part 3 now. This is the city of Teotihuacan, right? Teotihuacan is a large city in modern day Mexico. It's a historic site, and here we see like an overview picture of their large temple that they had here. So Teotihuacan is a classical civilization of Mesoamerica, right? But unlike the Mayans, who are like in southern Mexico and the Yucatan Peninsula over here, these guys are what we call are known in the Central Valley of Mexico, right? And eventually, we'll see that the Aztecs will come from the Central Valley of Mexico as well. So this is near Mexico City, modern day Mexico City. It was a large city state. So this again was not an empire or kingdom. It was a city state. But what is unique about them compared to, say, the Mayan city states is that it was just one, and it was huge, right? It was huge. The population was upwards of hundreds of thousands of people, and it was one of the largest cities in the world during this time, the classical era, the classical period, and it was the largest city in all of the Americas, right? What we would call the Western Hemisphere, right? So this was the largest city in the Americas. It's called Teotihuacan. And looking at even what it looks like today, we can tell that there must have been a very strong government to organize the labor to design this city the way it is, right? Or to build all these structures and temples and whatnot. So they had streets and avenues, right? Just like we would have in Miami, like so these streets and these avenues they would go perpendicular to each other, and create like a grid pattern, right? Which is considered the most, um, easiest method of having a city, or the best method of laying out a city, the most organized method. They had temples, right? So they had this is a temple to the sun, which is the largest temple, and on the other side, there's another part of it where there's the temple to the moon. So again, similar to what we saw with the Chavin and what we saw with the Chavin and not the Chavin, the Moche and the Mayans, right? They also had similar temples built to their same gods, right? Sun and moon and whatnot. So we know that these people had upper class and lower classes, right? Social stratification, because they had some houses that were really nice and filled with nice stuff, really big houses, and then you had other houses that tended to be smaller. The houses tended to be like one on top of the other, so they kind of lived like in apartment buildings, we might want to call, or they lived right next to each other with little space between them. So we know that there was social stratification. We know that the priests were considered upper class. The peasants and the artisans would have been considered lower class. Um, they had, of course, there were agriculture, right? So you know, just like the mines, they would have had maize and beans and squash. But what we see is that they had more trade, right? The mines traded within themselves, um, and they might have, they traded with Teotihuacan as well. Uh, but the Teotihuacan people, they had a little longer distance, we can say. So they trade with the Mayans, they trade with other people in Mesoamerica, other people like throughout Mexico, the northern parts of Mexico. And one of the most common things was this rock that we see here. It's called Obsidian, right? It's a volcanic glass, is the other name for it. It's a volcanic rock that when it cools off, it has this shiny black um, color to it, and so ornaments and weapons, because these shiny black rocks can be carved into knives or spearheads. And so these were the type of goods that might have been traded along their trade route. So again, the Mayans and the people of Teotihuacan, they would have had regional trade, right, within the region of Mesoamerica, but they probably would not have had too much long distance trade for the same reasons we mentioned before: no wheeled vehicles, no large draft animals either. So, decline, just like the mines, is up in the air, still for debate as to why they decline. There's evidence that the city had burned down at one point. And that's why there's only like stone buildings left behind, stuff that didn't get burned down. So it could have been that they were attacked and invaded. It could have been that the upper and lower classes had some type of like fight, like a civil unrest or civil war, and that led to riots, which might have led to the stuff getting burned down, the city getting burned down. And it could have also been that there was climate change, just like what happened with the mines. There was climate change with the mines, and that could have forced the people to move out of this giant city and go find elsewhere to live, similar to the Mayans. So, very kind of similar story of how the decline of the city, the great city of Teotihuacan. All right, so that's it for now. Thanks for watching.